Episode 1236 of the Multifamily Collective. This morning I wanted to talk about customer service. I read something in the Wall Street Journal this morning that indicated, based on a study, that the customer experience is actually declining. On a year-over-year basis, it's declined about 70 basis points. And it goes on to talk about the reasons why. Many of them are probably um, pretty obvious. That is staffing shortages, supply chain causing delays in parts and pieces, and labor distribution, things of that nature, are really putting a tax on our ability to serve the customer. And the other thing that it cites in the article is that consumers up to this point in time, or maybe up to some point in time, were actually understanding. Uh, we were all going through this together. The consumer was understanding that the same pressures that they were seeing in their own lives or in their own business where they were serving customers was applicable in the broader scheme of things. So they were a little less, or they were a little more relaxed about timelines and or service being not what they would expect in other circumstances or circumstances that didn't involve a pandemic. But today, consumers are starting to get fatigued. They are fatigued. They're fed up. They're done. I can tell you from my own personal experience that I've had several of these moments, be it in a restaurant or be it in other forward-facing services, where the service was just poor. Even when you did get service, the individuals that were serving you were just so fatigued and tired, you could just see it all over their face. Um, they were, there might be three people doing the service in a restaurant where there should be six or eight. I don't know. I don't run a restaurant, but there were not enough people to get the service done. And it wasn't their fault, but nevertheless, it caused me to think, wow, I'm in here, I'm paying top dollar for this, or I'm paying a fair amount of money for the food, which is also inclusive of the service. And so, at what point do I say something, or do I vote with my wallet and I don't go back? So I say all that to say this: I think the thing that differentiates, or could be the differentiator for multifamily going forward. Look, we're all facing the same thing in terms of a labor shortage, but to the extent that you can just be a little bit better than good, if you can go so far as to be excellent in this environment specifically, where companies are facing challenges in terms of providing service, forward-facing service, just a little bit better than the next guy is going to set you apart. It's going to set your company apart. It's going to set you apart as an individual. So if you're an individual listening to this and thinking, how can I make a difference? Look, this will not last forever. We've been through these types of cycles before. We do have different headwinds today, but those headwinds at some point will be addressed. We'll figure out how to operate in this new environment. To the extent that you can dig deep and persevere through this moment in time, you're going to set yourself apart. Now, that means you're going to have to make an investment personally in making sure that outside of work, you're feeding yourself, you're exercising, you're getting good nutrition. You really are going to work like an athlete to make sure that you are of good mind, you're of good health when you come into the work environment where you know you're going to get beat up every day. Or you're going to be taxed at a rate that is not akin to the rate that you're taxed at in the past. So there's that. And then organizations need to create environments that are conducive to health and welfare, making sure that your teams are well fed, well hydrated. I don't mean that in the natural sense, but make sure you're taking care of your team members, because each day is a battle. To provide good customer service, each day is a battle. We're showing up to a battle that is taking a toll on everyone. So my encouragement to you today is figure out how you're going to be excellent, or you're going to be a step ahead of your competition in terms of customer service or customer experience and providing that experience. And then go to work creating the environment. If you're an individual, go to work making sure that outside of work, you're taking care of yourself so that you can show up ready to compete every day. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.